Everybody, what is going on? The catch. Fam, hope everyone out there is doing phenomenal tonight. Hope you guys have had a great start to the week. Hope you guys have had a great Monday. I hope you guys are getting ready to enter the fantasy playoffs because week 15 of the NFL season is quickly coming upon us. Got both of the Monday night games wrapping up here. Both close games right now between the Packers and Giants, as well as the Dolphins and Titans. Been a little bit of a spooky night for fantasy managers with the Packers offense doing next to nothing. Jalen Waddle getting hurt, then returning to the Dolphins game, and Tyreek Hill getting hurt and exiting the Dolphins game for some time before he finally re-entered the game because the Dolphins it looked like they have no offense whatsoever without Tyreek Hill, and this game tied 13-13 at the moment. But nonetheless, we're going to wrap up week 14 of the fantasy season here, week 14 of the NFL season here, and hang out for a couple minutes here while these games wrap up. And outside of that, we'll be hopping into some week 15 fantasy Q&A. So whatever you guys need, start, sits, ads, drops. How does the waiver wire look for you guys? What kickers are you streaming? What defenses are you guys streaming? It's here, guys. I mean, I really, truly cannot believe that the fantasy playoffs are here, but get ready because week 15, whether you like it or not, is upon us. So, most importantly, let me know, how'd you guys end up doing this year? Did you guys make the fantasy playoffs? And how many leagues did you guys make the playoffs this year? I'm still waiting, and I have so many close scenarios that I'm not even going to check till tomorrow morning. I mean, I know I'm going to make the playoffs in a majority of my leagues, but yeah, there's quite a few leagues where the scenarios are way too close, and I'm just going to wait and let Sleeper do the updates. And yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and figure it out. We did kind of go through it on last night's stream, but yeah, I don't want to sit here and try and figure it out because I mean, I will say these Monday night games really did have a larger impact than I think some people maybe were. I mean, overall, the impact has been disappointing. A lot of players disappointing overall tonight, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of matchups that people were expecting to win that they are no longer going to win. So we'll see how that kind of shapes out. All right, let me get the poll set up here. All right, let's see here. Okay, that'll work. All right, so yeah, let me know. Do you guys make the playoffs this year? Are you happy with your fantasy season this year or not? Hopefully you guys are. And of course, whether you guys made the playoffs or not, let's talk some week 15 fantasy football. I mean, hey, in a lot of leagues, if you make it through the toilet bowl and you win the toilet bowl, as I call it, you can make your deposit back if it's a paid for league. So, there is still importance even if you are not playing for the actual championship. But yeah, I mean, this is the time of year where fantasy questions feel so heavy to me because it's like, man, this is it, right? So I'm always a little bit more careful this time of year, and as always, encourage you guys to trust your own gut, follow your own conviction. But man, I'm excited just to get through these next couple of weeks with you guys, and hopefully see a lot of you guys win some fantasy championships and advance far into the playoffs this season. Smokey out in quarterfinals. Love in Green Bay. Crap the bed. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, let's see here. Jordan Love sitting at 4.92 fantasy points. At the worst time possible. I mean, this was a good matchup for the Packers wide receivers, for A.J. Dillon, who's turned out 52 yards on the ground, has 2 catches. So, pretty typical A.J. Dillon performance. I liked Jaden Reed a lot going into this matchup with Watson out, but he had the rushing touchdown. If you started Jaden Reed, you're feeling fine. Tucker Kraft looks okay in terms of PPR as a streaming option. It looks like the Dolphins just got a turnover. And the Giants are still Giants are up 21-16, but the Packers had the ball. But yeah, Romeo Dobbs has not really showed up in this game. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 32 receiving yards. He's at least sitting on 7.2 fantasy points of PPR. But yeah, this has not been a good outing for the Packers whatsoever. Oh yeah, the Dolphins got the ball back on the punt. Muffed punt by the Titans. Dolphins scoop it right up. We'll see if the Packers put something together on this drive, though. If you started Saquon Barkley, which you should have, I don't see any reason why you would have started Saquon Barkley, but he's looked great tonight. 22.9 fantasy points, his 3rd highest total on the season. Tommy DeVito with a touchdown. You got to love it. Who cares? I mean, he's 71 rushing yards as well. You guys know I've been rooting for my guy DeVito all season long, but yeah, I doubt anyone out there was starting any Giants wide receivers. But if you did, it was Isaiah Hodgins who got the touchdown. He got the touchdown in the Giants' last game as well. So I highly doubt anyone out there started Isaiah Hodgins. But all right, so the Dolphins putting together a short drive here. Mostert has them 2nd and goal, and the Packers in the red zone. So we've got both these games potentially getting close to the nail in the coffin. But reviewing, let's start with the Tennessee Titans tonight. I doubt you needed to start Will Levis, maybe outside of like Superflex Dynasty League. It looks like Mostert is in for the touchdown. That might do it, but I don't know. There's a little bit of time left in this game. So, yeah, Derrick Henry scored a touchdown, 11.8 fantasy points. He'll take it. You probably had to start him. D-Hop, actually in full PPR, sitting at, interesting enough, 11.9 fantasy points as well. If you had to start Chicken Conquo, he's sitting at just 5.3 fantasy points. And it looks like that touchdown by Mostert is so close. I think it's a touchdown, though. I think the knee and the head of the ball, they might review that. That's so close, but I think that's a touchdown. So, yeah, I doubt you guys really had to start the Titans players tonight outside of Henry, but not a whole lot of upside in this matchup. Tyreek Hill, obviously, got hurt. Didn't play most of the game. He's come back in. He's up to 10.1 fantasy points in full PPR. So Hill maybe got you over the hump, but man, I know there's someone out there who needed Tyreek Hill to have a typical Tyreek Hill performance against a bad Tennessee Titans secondary, and they're probably not going to get it. I don't know. Tua not having a great, bad quarterback play by both Jordan Love and Tua tonight. Tua doesn't have a single touchdown. He has 2 fumbles, a lost fumble tonight, just 221 passing yards. So, I know there are a lot of close calls with some of you guys out there, like, Tua versus whoever. And it's just hard to bench Tua when we know the upside that's on the table with this offense. But Mostert just found the end zone, so he hits double digits again. Raheem Mostert has not hit double digits just twice this entire season. Week 7 against Philly, Week 4 against Buffalo, both away games. So Mostert is currently the RB2 in fantasy. Just ridiculous. Devontae Shane sitting at 9.6 fantasy points. So if you did roll him out there, you're probably not feeling too bad. But you're probably not happy because you're not getting that massive ceiling out of him. Jalen Waddle sitting at 13.9 fantasy points in PPR. Yeah, that's pretty typical, right? Pretty typical performance. So you're probably pretty happy with that. So Yeah, not a massive amount of upside out of the Dolphins players tonight. A couple minutes left in each game. We'll see how things kind of shape out here. Mr. Jones, I need Tyreek to hit 26.4, but I'm still number 2 in my main league. Clinch the bye. Nice. Yeah, so I'm assuming if he hit that mark, he would have finished as number 1. It's tough. I mean, I know there are some of you guys out there who like that was the biggest thing. Like you guys knew you were getting into the playoffs, but you were kind of stressing about like how do I wrap up the number 1 seed? And it's just tough, man. I mean, you have to have a lot of things go right your way on a week to week basis in fantasy football. And this was certainly another week. So, I mean, the good news is if you own Tyreek Hill, like he was able to return in this game, he's probably going to be questionable this week. I'll go ahead and let you guys know that. But if he was able to get through this game, I'm going to assume that he plays next week as well. And oh, wow. Derrick Henry, the muffed kind of toss from Will Levis there, the pitch. Basically, it goes right over his head. And I don't know if the Dolphins or the Titans recover that, but yeah, it was the Dolphins. Wow. Dolphins defense. I mean, obviously, if you own them, you were starting them. But yeah, the Dolphins defense. I mean, just how many points are they sitting at right now? Because the Dolphins are going to try and churn some clock down and get another touchdown here. Yeah, the Dolphins defense currently has 17 points. So since the bye week for the Dolphins in fantasy, in terms of defensive scoring, they've had 12 points, 22 points, 12 points, and 17 points. Next week, they're at home again against Zach Wilson and company. Then they're at home against Dallas. Then they get the Ravens. So I think you can fire them up next week. Why not? After that, it gets a little dicey with those matchups, Cowboys and Ravens. And they get Buffalo in week 18. So it should be an interesting end of the season for the Dolphins. All right, Tua hands it off to Mostert. He loses about a yard. There's a flag down. All right, so looking ahead to week 15, got the Chargers and Raiders on Thursday Night Football. Okay. This is going to be a weird game because we don't really know the status of Justin Herbert at the moment. Only time will tell. And outside of that, like, what are we really like? I mean, a decent matchup for Austin Eckler. Keenan Allen is probably still startable, even if Herbert doesn't play. But that's really about it, right? On the Raiders side, Josh Jacobs questionable. Can you throw Devontae Adams out there against an awful Raiders secondary? Yeah. Can you throw Jacoby Myers out there? Maybe if you're desperate. But yeah, this does not really feel like the type of game on Thursday night that is really going to have a lot of fireworks or a lot of fantasy points scored. All right, so another handoff here for the Dolphins, and Mostert is going to score again because that is what Raheem Mostert does. And the Packers also in the red zone here. 3rd and goal, Jordan Love dropping back. And wow, that's going to be very close. I think that's a touchdown by Wicks. He like obliterated the referee. But yeah, a great catch. Extends the ball. Looks like a touchdown at the moment. Oh, that's Malik Heath, not Wicks. Let me see the replay here. Catch, foot, extends it. I think that is a touchdown. So it looks like the Dolphins and the Packers, I mean, Dolphins definitely, but the Packers now going to be in position to finish out that game as well. All right, kids, I'm in the playoffs with the last slot. Don't have a quarterback. Should my main pickup be Stafford? Yeah, absolutely, man. 110%. I mean, of course, it depends on who's available, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, if you guys are struggling at quarterback, whether you lost Justin Herbert or, I don't know, quarterback's been so rough lately. I mean, right? But, yeah, 23.6 points against Baltimore on the road. Just a really, really good performance by Stafford. But 22.9 the week before against Cleveland, whose defense has been kind of wishy-washy lately, but has been still a good defense on the season. And then 24.3 points the week before that against Arizona. So absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. So the Packers going for two. It's going to be a little pitch to Jaden Reed, and he is stopped short. The Packers are up by one, and the Dolphins kicking off to the Titans up two scores with 4:34 left. But yeah, I mean, Matthew Stafford has got to be a top waiver priority. I mean, even if you're like kind of comfortable at quarterback, like, I mean, there's players like CJ Stroud who's in, concussion protocol, has no wide receivers at the moment, coming off a bad matchup against the Jets. You got like Sam Howell coming off the bye week, who's got a couple of tough matchups coming up. Jordan Love not looking fantastic tonight, although his upcoming schedule's pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely scenarios where even if you have a decent starting quarterback, that you should still be potentially looking for another quarterback. And Stafford's got to be the guy. Let me see here. According to Sleeper, he's rostered in 54% of leagues. So, I mean, that's not great, but it's not awful by any means. So, Dobbs and Minshew, my quarterbacks, had Richardson and Kirk, but both got hurt. Yeah. I mean, if Herbert's going to miss substantial time, that is 8 starting quarterbacks on the season. And if Stroud is going to end up missing time, which, I mean, I don't know, concussion protocol might just be a week, could be longer. You never know, but that would be 9 starting quarterbacks. I mean, it's just been a really rough year for the position, but overall, it's been an awful year for injuries. I mean, like when Waddle went down tonight, I'm like, oh man, here we go again. Then he comes back in, then Tyreek goes down. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Like it's like every time we're watching a game, you're just expecting an injury. It's just been so rough. All right, minute 33 for the Giants. They're gonna roll Tommy DeVito and company out there. But yeah, Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs is probably gonna be droppable. And like you can still hang on to Minshew if you're in a tough spot at quarterback, of course. You're not going to feel great about it, but at least he's going to get you some sort of point total if everything goes south. But, his floor ceiling is like between like 15 to 18 points. So at least Stafford is giving you a tad bit of upside. And this Rams offense looks good. I've been talking about this Rams team quite a bit lately. And, man, they're like just a quiet playoff contending team. So I definitely think that Stafford should be picked up, especially if you're hurting at quarterback. But even if you're not, like he's got to be one of the top waiver wire ads this week. Does Washington have a good pass defense? No. Absolutely not. They are the worst in the league. I don't know if the Eagles, and the Commanders have been kind of flipping back and forth all season long for the worst and the second worst. So I think the Cardinals may have snuck ahead. I mean, I don't know. It's tough because the Cardinals and the Commanders both had a bye week this past week, but those have been the 3 worst teams against the pass all season long and against wide receivers from a fantasy perspective. So, yeah, nothing to worry about whatsoever. And I mean, honestly, this Commanders team, I mean, obviously got substantially weaker in terms of their front 7, but oh wow, Tommy DeVito putting together a drive. Man, they've just gotten, after they traded Sweat and Chase Young, like this whole defense just gotten worse and worse and worse as the season has gone on. And oh my gosh, what a drive the Giants are putting together. Randall Robinson with a huge gain there and gets out of bounds as well. So we'll see if the Giants can pull off a DeVito miracle. I mean, I think they might already be they're like already in field goal position. So let's see what they can put together here. Yeah, it's a handoff to Barkley, gain of a couple. That's exactly what you want right there. All right, looking ahead to next week in terms of waiver wire pickups, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, you still got to take a look at those guys if Pacheco continues to miss time. I guess, McKinnon got the touchdown. If you look at the split between the two, like really wasn't substantial in either way, but McKinnon got the touchdown. So I guess he has the touchdown upside. Donta Foreman is looking like the lead back for the Bears. So Donta Foreman definitely needs to be considered. Chase Brown might be my favorite waiver wire pickup this week. Just looking like he's going to offer that, touchdown upside once again, right? And I don't know, this point in the season looks like the Bengals maybe looking at what they have and some of their younger players as well. But I mean, just the speed, the explosiveness that Chase Brown brings to the table. I think we have to take a heavy look at him. He's going to be a tough player to actually start on a week to week basis. Because are we going to trust his usage? But even then, I don't know. Going to be at this point in the season, Chase Brown just feels like a player that we want to go ahead and pick up. And Alexander Madison, the ankle injury this past weekend against the Raiders, and what was, I think, the worst game I've ever seen. So Ty Chandler, definitely worth picking up this week as well. Maybe keep an eye on Antonio Gibson if he's available in your league with Brian Robinson getting banged up before the bye week for the Commanders as well. Isaiah Likely and Odell Beckham. We talked about Odell Beckham quite a bit, but yeah, let's start with Likely. Really good day against the Rams. 5 of 7, caught 5 of 7, 83 total yards and a touchdown for Isaiah Likely. And gets the Jaguars this coming week, who just gave up that massive game to David Njoku. So I like Isaiah Likely quite a bit. If he's out there, at this point, probably worth adding for sure. But Odell Beckham on that same offense, of course, also without a doubt worth adding because he has the touchdown upside. And, I've been a fan of adding Odell for a couple of weeks now. But, man, you just have to take a shot on him because he's getting those important looks from Lamar Jackson. Curtis Samuel, if he got dropped due to the bye week, probably worth picking up. Zay Jones, probably worth picking up. Juju Smith-Schuster, probably worth picking up because he's the only healthy wide receiver for the Patriots. I guess you could take a look at Texans wide receivers if you're desperate enough. And Jonathan Mingo for the Panthers, probably worth a look as well. And go ahead and add Aaron Rodgers while you can. Just kidding. I don't really think it's going to be worth it. But looking at quarterbacks, Joe Flacco. We got to take a look at Joe Flacco going into next week. If you're desperate enough, I do think that Joe Flacco is worth a shot. This Bears defense hasn't looked bad lately. So my favorite matchup is the Giants are kicking a field goal that is going to win them the football game. Wow. Tommy DeVito pulls it off. I mean, they made that final drive look so easy, man. The other quarterback I take a look at on the waiver wire is going to be Jake Browning going up against the Vikings this week. Jake Browning has looked pretty dang good. Throw him out there against the Vikings. Once again, not an awful defense, but probably worth streaming against. Logan Thomas, Tyler Conklin, Kate Otten, maybe Gerald Everett if he's healthy, Chicken Conquo. There are some names at tight ends, but I don't feel super confident in any of those guys, to be honest. I like Conklin probably the best. Let's see here. Dak, CD, Tyreek Pittman been carrying me, Roshan Charb, Zeke, Herbert Spears, Mitchell, Ramondre on IR. Help. Those are my running backs. Jeez. Starting Dak, CD, Tyreek, Pittman. Wow, running backs are tough, man. You got to start Zeke, and you don't have the Bears running backs that I want to see. I would just start Charbs, I guess. I mean, probably your best shot, right? But he plays the Eagles at home, at least on Monday Night Football. Man, yeah, I would go with Zeke for sure because he gets the volume. Then I mean, I guess he could go Keaton Mitchell. probably get you like I feel like Keaton Mitchell's floor is like 7 points. His ceiling is like 20-ish points. So maybe go Keaton Mitchell, but Charbs is worth a shot as well, I guess. The Ravens play the Jaguars in Jacksonville. I know this defense has been really bad lately, but they still haven't been awful against the run on the season. So, uh, I don't know. I think I go Keaton Mitchell and I'd start Zeke. But obviously, yeah, you're relying on wide receivers and quarterback play here for sure. All right, so Tommy DeVito pulls off the Monday Night Miracle. Beautiful. Gotta be happy for my boy DeVito. And now the Dolphins trying to make sure the Titans don't have a shot to win this football game. As the Dolphins are up by 6, and they have the football at the moment. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to bet that the Dolphins pull this off, but with what the Giants just did, I guess you never know, right? Let's see here. Who should I drop to pick up running back wise? I mean, I don't really feel like Herbert, Roshan Johnson, or Tajay Spears are going to do you any good at this point in the fantasy season. Like, I mean, there is a world where any of these guys could get increased volume and do something, but we just haven't seen it all season long. Like, it hasn't been there, right? I'd rather have Donta Foreman, and I just don't. If you're hurting this bad at running back, like, I mean, I get why you're rostering some of these guys because it's like if Henry goes down or someone takes over the Bears backfield, then you have them, and that helps you substantially. But yeah, I just don't know if it's going to happen at this point. I think I'd rather have Donta Foreman, but I don't even know if he's available for you. And then, yeah, I mean, I just don't think you need to roster Spears. I mean, the only reason you're rostering him is, like I said, as a pure handcuff. So, I mean, I guess this week and last week he's been okay, though. So I guess take that back. Keep Spears. I would just get rid of the Bears running backs. Spears has actually been startable. That's my mistake. I didn't realize he ended up with 17.2 points tonight. And the week before against Indy wasn't too bad. But it's just, here's a problem for me with a guy like Spears is like, are you ever going to be confident enough to start Tajay Spears unless you're completely desperate is the thing. But the point totals have been good enough the past 2 weeks. I wouldn't get rid of him. So, yeah, I just move on from the Bears running backs. It looks like Donta Foreman's taking that backfield over. And even if he doesn't, it's like, how much confidence, once again, are you going to have in a guy like Khalil Herbert or Roshan Johnson being in your starting lineup? Is probably pretty steep, right? But yeah, let me know who's out there, who's available for you, and maybe we can go from there after that. Alan, what's up? Week 15, PPR, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nakua, Rasheed Rice, pick 2. Let's take a look at some matchups. So Garrett Wilson gets the Jets. Probably going to see a lot of Ramsey. Puka Nakua, who I do like this week, gets the Commanders at home. Rashee Rice will get the Patriots on the road. Man, you have to start Puka against the Commanders. Puka and Cooper Kupp should absolutely be in starting lineups this week, and it shouldn't be a question. This Commanders secondary has been so bad. I think I'll give the edge to Garrett Wilson. I don't know. It's really close. I think I'll give the edge to Garrett Wilson over Rashee Rice. Wilson coming off a 20-point performance, 14 targets, 9 receptions, 108 receiving yards. Tougher matchup this week on the road against Miami for sure. but I still really like Garrett Wilson right now in full PPR. But man, it's tough to bench Rushy Rice. I mean, he's hit double digits 3 weeks in a row. I mean, for what it's worth, he's hit double digits every game this year except for five. So for a rookie, that's pretty dang good. But on the road against New England, I don't hate it. And the Chiefs are kind of in one of these positions where like they are going to try and win out this season. And they're obviously not a very happy football team right now, but they're at the Patriots, and then next two games after that are at home against the Raiders and the Bengals, and they're at Rice has like the touchdown ups 3 weeks. Then Garrett Wilson doesn't really have the touchdown upside, but he has the volume. Like he's getting more targets overall, but very close between those two. Honestly, I feel like Garrett Wilson and Rasheed Rice probably pretty close overall in terms of like a ceiling and floor next week. So um it's close. But I would definitely start Puka Nakua. The only thing that maybe I go over Rasheed Rice because Garrett Wilson gets um the Dolphins and their secondaries look good as of late. Who are you leaning towards, Allen? Between Wilson and Rice, who do you feel better about? I might go Puka and Rice, but I don't know. I kind of like lean towards sitting Garrett Wilson this past week and ended up regretting it, but it's a much different matchup this week. Albert, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Let me know how this year turned out for you. Are you headed into the fantasy playoffs? Good to see you, bro. How are you feeling about CJ Stroud in week 15? I don't feel great. I have like one league where I'm pretty reliant on CJ Stroud. And yeah, I don't feel phenomenal. And it's not really CJ Stroud per se that I'm worried about. I mean, I'm worried about the concussion for sure, and how's that going to affect him when he's going to be able to play, practice, all that stuff. But I'm more worried about Nico Collins missing time and Tank Dell obviously on IR. And then Noah Brown. I mean, granted, tough matchup for Noah Brown, but no catches in the past 2 weeks. 7 targets in the last 2 weeks, 0 catches. So, and then you still got Dalton Schultz banged up as well. He could return next week, but he's been dealing with a hamstring injury. So I'm worried about Stroud because they're on the road once again. They get Tennessee, who's so far tonight given up 27 points. I don't think they're going to struggle as much as they did against the Jets defense necessarily, but this front seven for the Titans is kind of always ready. And of course, this being a divisional game, and I think the Titans are still technically in the playoff hunt. I don't know if they're out if they lose tonight or not, to be honest, but uh, you know, the Texans and the Titans play again in week 17. So definitely an important matchup in terms of you know, playoffs, I suppose. So Titans are going to do whatever they can to beat the Texans, even if they weren't in the playoff hunt. Or barely in the playoff hunt, I should say. They'd be trying to do so. So, yeah, I don't feel great about CJ Stroud this week. I think if you're desperate enough, you could start him, but man, I don't know. I certainly don't feel eager to start him. And like I said, a lot of it comes down to like Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown. Like we have quite a few issues in terms of the pass catchers all over the place here. All right, so the Titans are definitely making you nervous if you're a Dolphins fan right now. So it looked like it was a false start on the Titans, but the call is going to be delay a game against the Dolphins. And Tennessee is very close to scoring, 2nd and 1 for the Titans. And I mean, I would imagine they're going to hand this off to Derrick Henry, and they do. And it is a touchdown by Derrick Henry. Unbelievable. I mean, the Dolphins were up 2 scores just moments ago. And the Dolphins will have a chance. They're going to have a little under 2 minutes to put together a drive. Will Levis very happy. I can't tell. I think that. Oh, I see now. The Dolphins have no timeouts. Whew. Both these games coming down the wire. I thought I'd hop on. There's a couple minutes left in each game, and the games would wrap up. We've been streaming for 35 minutes, and neither game or only one game is over. All right, so the Dolphins just have to get in field goal range. Let's see what happens. Alan, I agree. So if CJ Stroud is good, Nico Collins is good, would you rather play him or Fields? Good question. So, I am not overly worried about this Browns defense. I've been kind of saying that for a couple weeks now. I think you can go Fields if you need to. 24 points last week. He always plays good against the Lions, though. This is his last road game for the fantasy season. Week 18 will be a road game against the Packers. But yeah, he gets two good matchups, week 16 and 17, Cardinals and Falcons. But I just, this Cleveland defense has been really up and down. They are at home for what it's worth. And I feel like they kind of match up well against what Justin Fields does. But I honestly think I feel better about Justin Fields. I think I would have Justin Fields in your lineup right now. And maybe as the week goes on, maybe you might end up pivoting, but I don't know, man. I think I'm starting Justin Fields at this point. All right, guys, let's see here. Dolphins have 1:45, no timeouts. Can they put something together? I'm actually kind of excited to watch the end of this game. Well, I mean, of course I'm excited, but I'm excited that it's coming down to the wire as opposed to not. Best running backs on wires here: McKinnon, Brown, Foreman. Yeah, so I would try and drop Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert if I were you, and go after all three of these guys. Probably. The tricky thing is you're going to just keep updated with Isaiah Pacheco's status because there's a chance he comes back this week, and then Jared McKinnon just doesn't have as much like touchdown upside, for example. Looks like the Dolphins picked up a first down, and clock will stop as Devontae Chain goes outside or out of bounds, excuse me. But so I might go Foreman, McKinnon, Brown because like you need the most volume that you can possibly get because you're really struggling at the running back position, and I think Foreman gives you that. And like I said earlier in the stream, like I like Chase Brown, but the problem is like on a week to week basis, how confident are we going to be in starting Chase Brown? Like, what is the true volume actually going to be on a week to week basis, as opposed to one or two upside plays that he takes for a home run, which is still fine. But yeah, I'd probably go after Foreman, then McKinnon, then Chase Brown. Tough. But honestly, I think any of these guys are better than some of the players you have on your roster at the moment. But I think, I don't know, maybe a guy like Chase Brown is good in your situation because he just offers that pure upside. You know what I mean? And if I'm not mistaken, he has a pretty good upcoming schedule. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Yeah, I guess it's decent. Kansas City hasn't been playing as good against the run as of late, but Pittsburgh's pretty good. Minnesota, actually pretty good against running backs, so decent. All right, so I feel like it's gonna be one of those games that like this last minute or so takes like 10 minutes. Right now they're trying to determine if that was a catch by Smythe or not. And they're gonna review this, so it'll probably take a second. But man, I totally forgot that Underdog weekly winners playoffs are now a thing. Chase, we were just talking about you. The what's up, Chase? The Bengals, Chase Brown. Didn't make it to the playoffs in the catch tourney league. Unlucky season, but will come back stronger next season. Of course, man. We are honored to have you in league number 1 this year. And we'll have you back next year. You can redeem yourself. Don't worry about it. I think I'm going to do an Underdog weekly winners entry. Chase, did you make it in your other leagues? All right, let me see. Oh man, Devontae Chain did not pick up the first down. Too many injuries, never drafting Cup ever. Yeah, Cup showing up now, but not throughout the year. Spence, what's good, bro? It's not letting me enter because it can't determine my location. And Tua gets sacked. The game is going to end. The Titans win. What is tonight? Wow. The Dolphins were like just up 2 scores. Hold on. I'm going to see what I can do to. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying they can't detect my location. I've never had that come up before. We'll try again at some point. My other 2 main leagues, I made it. I'll be a number 1 seed in 2 leagues, then 3rd in my main dynasty. Nice. We'll take that, right? 2 out of 3. One of my leagues, I'll be 12-2, get a first round bye. Absolutely nice. Gotta love that. Wow. Titans and Giants taking home the wins tonight. You gotta love it. You just gotta love it. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can try and if there's a way. I've never had it say can't determine my location on a computer. Made it in a best ball mania draft. Yeah, I made it in a couple, so I'm happy about that. I guess I'll pull that up in a second, Spence. Where are we drafting Most Start next year? Number 1 overall. What's up, Emil? Good to see you, Bresky. I mean, yeah, it's 2 touchdowns at the very end of the game. Why not, right? He's the RB2 in fantasy, and I don't think that's going to change. I think CMC will stay 1, and then yeah, Most Starts 2. Pray, what's up, dude? Made the playoffs. Let's go. Let's go. Love to hear it. So, taking a look here. All right, so this team will be advancing Mahomes, T-Law, Jacobs, Pacheco, Kamara, Monty, Mostart. Okay, I really like this team, like quite a bit, but I got so screwed because like my running backs are stacked. I can flex a running back. I have stacks at quarterback, and like I'm good with Mahomes and T-Law. But then, like, I'm so screwed at wide receiver because I have Tyreek Hill, good, but Christian Kirk going down really hurts this team. Like, now I just need Zay Jones to, like, pop off, or maybe Jerry Judy. But then I have Evan Ingram at tight end. So, like, I have a stack with T-Law no matter what. So, really, what I need for this team is for Zay Jones to go crazy. Is it? Because this team was looking so solid, and now it's looking rough. I mean, at running back, Jacobs, Pacheco, Kamara, Monty, Mostart. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm flexing a running back in this team all year long, but like, man, Kirk going down just really kind of hurts. I guess this team is advancing T-Law, Kyler, Rogers, 0 points on the season. C-Mac, B-Rob, Zeke, Foreman, Chuba, pretty good. Garrett Wilson, Olave, Christian Kirk, Hollywood, Curtis Samuel, Evan Ingram. I mean, this team's okay. Why not? But let's see. Have some super flex teams advancing. Tua, Prescott, Purdy. Ooh, I like that. Kenneth Walker, Monty Pacheco, Singletary, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Hollywood, Thielen. It's a little chance here. Komet. So I think this team's okay. Yeah, this team's okay. Mainly because quarterbacks look great. Here's another one advancing. We got Geno, Bryce, Young, Baker. What? Etienne, Monty, Zeke, Hill, Kirk, Hollywood, Shaheed, Dobbs, Kelsey. I don't feel good about that team. I don't even want to look at that team ever again. Let's see. So that was super flex. All right, so here's Best Ball Mania. I got Prescott, Love, Barkley, Swift, White. Man, Jeff Wilson. Imagine if that was Mostart. Lamb, Cooper, DJ Moore, Hollywood, Dotson, Dobbs, Slayton, Komet, Musgrave, McBride. That seems like an okay team. There's another Best Ball Mania. We got Russell, Kyler, Brock, CMC, Gibbs, Pacheco, Smith, Debo, Zay Flowers, Jerry Judy, Josh Palmer, Goddard, and McBride. I mean, this team has a chance. Running backs look pretty good, though. Like C-Mac, Gibbs, Pacheco, Purdy. Like, there's good quarterbacks. Purdy and Debo. Like, there's a shot there. Okay, here's Chihuahua Superflex. And I've got an advanced. Wow, I did pretty okay this year. All right, we got Joff. What am I saying? Jared Goff, Sam Howell, McCaffrey, Monty, Rashad White, Chuba, Roshan Johnson, JJ, woo, Devonta Smith, Drake London, DJ Moore, Jahan Dotson, Shaheed, Evan Ingram, Cole Komet. This team's got its shot, I guess. And weekly winners, I did awful. So, okay, I mean, I got a couple teams in there. Oh, I didn't even look at, yeah, like the puppy. I've got it. Here's a team: Goff, Howe, C-Mac, Pacheco, Cook, A-Chain, Smith, Debo, DJ Moore, Dotson, Flowers, Shaheed, Kittle, Laporta. I can take that. So, yeah, I got a couple other teams. Yeah, here's another one. Okay, we did okay. We did good on best ball this year. We'll see what happens. Probably won't amount to anything. All right. Let me see here. One of my main leagues, I had the worst wide receiver injury luck. Had J.J. Higgins, Kirk, Dell, Nico. Was worried about Hill because I had him. Yeah, I mean, he cursed everyone, Chase. It just happens, bro. This year was just brutal, man. Just brutal. Fifth seed with John behind me as usual. Hey, as long as you get a ticket, that's all I care about. Made the playoffs in 6 of 8 leagues, have buys in 2 of those. Let's go, Spence. I always forget about your cool site, J-Dubs. Oh. the link wasn't working for me, but that's not your fault. Because I'm trying to open it from the chat that I have, and it's cutting off the link. It's not your fault. But I don't know. I just went through it. And I feel pretty good, man. I feel okay. As I guess that's updated from tonight's games. If it's not, I feel really stupid. Probably gonna lose in the first round because Kirk's injured. Man, is that the team he made like 17 trades on this year? Paul on an 8-game winning streak. Let's go. Worried my team's about to have a crap week. Try not to worry. Try not to worry. It happens in week 15 though. A lot. Minshew, Evans, DJ Moore, White, CMC, Ingram, DK, T-Lock, Connor, Dotson, 2 QB league. Not too bad, Paul. Not too bad at all. I think it'll be okay. I mean, CMC, Rashad White, DJ Moore, Ingram, Evans, DK. I don't know. I think it'll be okay. I wouldn't feel too bad. I'm above average on the field with a 17% advance rate on Best Ball Mania 4. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's pretty good, right? Chase, what a game. Which one? Both great games. Like I said earlier in the stream, I hopped on a while ago thinking both games were just going to like wrap up, and they took forever to end, but that's what you want to see, right? Don, what's up, dude? Good to see you, bro. What up? What up? How are we feeling about Kyler versus the Niners? Superflex Dynasty, I have him, Hurts, and Minshew. Yeah, I still go Kyler. I'll go Kyler. Minshew gets the Steelers. I mean, I guess you could, but I still feel like Kyler has the upside, right? If you don't like the matchup, I mean, I guess you could go Minshew, but I think I'd just roll Kyler out there. All right, so let's look. Dude, whoever made this website is the best. I think that's my username. All right, so is this just for Best Ball Mania 4, though? I think it is. I don't know what to do with this information. 21.4%. That's pretty good, right? That's higher than you, J-Dubs. Right? What's the average? Sneaking in that 6th seed in League 1. Let's go. Did I not get in League number 1? Because if I didn't get in, I'm going to cry. I was on like such a nice winning streak in that league. Did I not get in since I lost? Well, I knew I was going to lose. Andrea's team is loaded. Oh, wait, but I'm number 5, right? Did Michael lose? Okay, I think I'm in. May all of your playoff shares bring glory right back at you and everyone else. Lost the number 2 spot, playoff by my home league by 0.25. Oh, God. Got to blame Matt Gay. Oh, I saw that on Discord, bro. I felt so bad because I liked Matt Gay this week. I didn't know if that had anything to do with it. I doubt that it did, but I felt bad. Just in general, tough loss. Also, McBride and Titan Premium, so having Kyler helps. Yeah, I mean, you can just stack those guys and not look back, right? 18% best ball advance rate, but I'm going to be so nervous to look at these teams. It is tough. I mean, kind of with best ball, like, I didn't look at any of my best ball teams like all season long, and that's kind of like, I feel like the best thing to do, right? Maybe just don't look for another week or two, then maybe you'll be happy afterwards. Go Giants. Lions going to wrap up this division against the Broncos. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. And, the playoff picture. So the Vikings are still in the playoff picture. Ooh. A 50% advanced rate as I've only done 2. Nice. Just Best Ball Mania 4. Okay, that's what I thought. The 96 all on DraftKings, though. Okay, okay. Okay, I got in on points. Okay. I was freaking out for a minute. League number 1 is personal. Mainly because Steven's in it. What's up, Andrea? Good to see you. Spencer had that crazy team advance last year that had the Chargers like triple, quadruple stack against the Titans. And we were expecting that game to be like a massive Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler game. And it did not end up being that way at all. But man, Spence always has a good team creeping. But I hope it works out. Crazy how I'm top 6 in points for in a league, but we'll end up in 11th place. Yeah, there was a lot of that this year. I mean, there always is every year, but there's a lot of that this year. You know, a lot of people upset about that, but just a weird year of fantasy. It really was. Cinnabon says, beat you accidentally in Dynasty Superflex. Most start saved you in the auction league. I don't even want to talk about the auction league. Caleb made the playoffs in 2 leagues, not in 1. Not too bad. Not too bad. What's up, Caleb? Don't have that type of restraint. You're stronger than me. Yeah. I just don't even look. Just cross your fingers. Look at in week 18 or whatever. Bears are technically in the playoff picture. Yeah. There's quite a few teams in the NFC and the AFC still in the playoff hunt. The Titans are still in the playoff hunt after tonight. Mostert is my MVP this year in multiple leagues. Yeah, I don't have Mostert in a single league. Not in a single league. Bears are going to the Super Bowl. So I was reading that if Justin Fields didn't get hurt and you took the average amount of points scored that DJ Moore had when Justin Fields was healthy or has been healthy, DJ Moore would be the wide receiver 2 in fantasy right now. And I just want to say that my predictions surrounding DJ Moore and Justin Fields going into the year weren't wrong just because Fields got hurt. Sticking by it. And Septimus won my first round of playoffs. Let's go. Glad to hear it, broski. Spence. Hold on. I will look up your team. Spin. Oh, wait. How do I... How do I look at your team? Oh, I just click on it. I swear I'm like an old man. All right, we got Mahomes, Howell, Jones, Henry White, A-Chain, Mostert, and even Spears. I like that. McLaurin, Ayuk, Addison, even J-Mo is kind of nice in this format. Juju, Myers, Osborne, and Downs all relevant. Then you got Kelsey and Nkonkwo. Man, isn't it funny how like the most concerning part of this team right now is Mahomes and Kelsey? But yeah, this is a good-looking team, bro. Yeah. I'd feel good about that. What's this other team? You always go in on Mahomes and best ball. This other team is not so good, but it's not advancing anyways. So, Spence, I hope you win best ball. And if you do, just remember that we're friends. I don't know, man. I kind of like this team advancing. Because, like if I'm starting Brock, C-Mac, Gibbs, or Pacheco, then Devonta Smith, Debo, then flexing like Zay Flowers, and then starting McBride, like I feel pretty good about that. But I also have Kyler and McBride. I don't know. I feel okay about that team. This one, like I really liked this team. I really, really like this team. No, wait. I think it's this one that I really like. Oh, I didn't even see that team. But I would really like this team if Christian Kirk wasn't hurt. Because then I have like T-Law and Kyler, Brees Hall, Pacheco, White, Hill, DK, Kirk, Rashi Rice. I don't know. This team's still okay. Evan Ingram. It's okay. Yeah, this team, Dak, Kyler, J-Lo, Barkley, Swift, White, Lamb, Cooper, DJ Moore, Brown, Dotson, Dobbs, Komet, McBride. This team has a shot, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. Cook, Mostart, Javonte Williams, or Sutton. Mostart. I mean, there are some, I think Cook's going to have a good week this week, and I love Sutton every week, but I just go with Mostart. I mean, he's ranking too high. Sutton having a great year, Cook having a good year, especially as of late. But Mostart is the RB2. You just have to roll with them. Vikings won 3-0. That hasn't happened since the 80s. What a gross game. At the first round, buying Dynasty League 2. Let's go. Should I keep Goddard at my wide receiver RB tight end spot? I can put Mostart's or Sutton in there. I would put Sutton or Mostart for sure. I would put either of those guys over Goddard for sure. Lost to Jared in the last week. Oh, yeah, you do deserve it then. If I started Brees Hall in London, I might have made the playoffs. Yeah, just tough, man. I didn't feel good about Hall this week. I thought London was okay. But, man, that's a bummer, Caleb. Sleepy, hope you made the playoffs as well. I figured it out, Spence. Don't worry. I'll pull up your teams as well, J-Dubs. J-Dub, yeah. Hey, as long as you have dang, you have a lot of teams advancing, bro. You did 58 drafts. That's why you're my percentage isn't even good compared to yours because I did way less drafts. J-Lo, Purdy, Stroud, Hall, Javonte, Dillon, Lamb, Wilson, Watson. This is Pickens, Godwin, Dobbs, Ingram. I know this team's pretty far back, but that team's pretty good. Fields, Carr, Taylor, Akers. How's this team advancing? Because of Tyreek Hill, McBride. That team's still got a shot. It's not letting me pull up your teams now. I don't know what happened. It's broke. Okay, we'll come back to this. I don't know what happened. It's I think the site is updating. And the whole site's bugging out on me. Can JJ just stay healthy? No. I know this is early, but who'd you start this upcoming week between Wilson, Cooper, or Sutton? Probably Sutton, to be honest. I mean, I just don't really see any reason to sit Sutton. So I'd probably just roll with him. This Lions secondary's been bad. And I'd go McBride over Goddard. Nico or JJ next week? It's really hard to say because we don't know if either of these guys are going to play next week. I'd probably still lean JJ, honestly, but we don't know if they're going to play. So if Mahomes and Kelsey have big weeks, he'll be set. Oh, for sure. And they always can, of course. Teams are fairly healthy. I hope so. Start 2, Pollard, Cook, Javonte, Mostart. I start Mostart. He's a must start. Mostart, the must start. Pollard versus Cook is interesting. In the same matchup, I think due to matchup, I go Pollard. Pollard and Mostart. Close with Cook, though. Stroud versus Tua. I think I told you to go 2 over Stroud this past week, and I guess it worked out, but you probably weren't happy either way. Um, with the Dolphins coming off a loss, they get the Jets next week. I'm going to stick with Tua. I'm going to stick with Tua because I don't know who's going to catch the ball for Stroud. This week in a super flex, should I start T-Law and Russ or pick up Flacco? I go T-Law and Russ, and I like Flacco. Why not? Who wouldn't? But I don't know. It's a little bit of a tougher matchup this week against the Bears. No offense, J-Dubs and Cinnabon. I can't believe I'm saying, but this Bears defense has been kind of spooky lately. I mean, you can go Flacco, but I would start T-Law. He's been playing so good. If you wanted to start Flacco over one of the guys, probably Russ. So start Diggs, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, all that wide receivers and flex or whatever you choose. How'd you start these? Wait. All right, there's a second part to the question. Let me know. Diggs, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, all the wide receivers and flex. Yeah, you should start them, but I don't know if I'm missing the second part to the question. Aubrey won me by 3 points. Aubrey won a lot of people matchups this week. The man went wild. Only kicker ever to make 2 field goals from 59 yards or more in a game, if I'm not mistaken. Pick 2 next week, half PPR. Hall, Mixon, Warren. Yeah, I go Hall, Mixon. Ended up sneaking into the playoffs against a guy that had Tyreek tonight. Moved up to 4th. Let's go. Craziest Monday Night Football ever. It was 2 great games. 2 great games. Gotta love seeing the underdogs win. Olave or Wilson rest of season? Olave. Ooh, tough. I mean, these guys are pretty parallel. Like, they're kind of in like the same situation where the quarterback play is not outstanding, but they get the volume. It's a pretty lateral move. I guess the Saints still fighting for a more relevant playoff chance. So maybe Olave, but they're really, really close, dude. Goff or Russ, they play against each other Saturday. I have to start one. Man, it's a good matchup for Goff this week. I know he's been bad. He's at home. I'll go Goff, but it's close. Have a good night, Cinnabon. Appreciate you, man. You think Aaron Jones will play this season? I mean, at this point, bro, I wouldn't bank on it. But the Packers are in the playoff hunt, and coming off this loss, he definitely can. Definitely can. But it's just tough to say, bro. I mean, Dylan hasn't been great, so like they need him as a change of pace guy. So it's definitely possible. But I don't know. It's close. Fields or T-Law next week. I would kind of pay attention to T-Law's status throughout the week. I mean, obviously, it didn't really matter last week. He gets the Ravens at home. The Ravens gave up a lot of points to the Rams. So I think you can start T-Law. And I probably would. I'm going to expect points in this Ravens-Jaguars game. I'll go T-Law. But I think Fields is okay this week. But I'll take the home team quarterback. Let's go T-Law. Should I trade James Cook for Swift? I would not. No, I would not. And you guys know I love my guy Swift. But the usage has been really poor for DeAndre Swift as of late. So I would just go James Cook. He's been getting far more utilized since Ken Dorsey got fired. So I go James Cook. Do we trust Keenan with Easton Stick? I mean, yes and no. Like his ceiling gets automatically completely lowered, but I mean, it's kind of like Garrett Wilson without Aaron Rodgers, Jamar Chase, without Burrow. Like, you still have to start these guys, but they just get kind of downgraded to like a wide receiver 3 on your fantasy roster. And you just kind of take the good with the bad, right? Spans, thank you for being a member of the channel for 16 months. Wow. I can hardly believe that this YouTube channel has been a channel for 16 months, but thank you, Spence. Appreciate your support. And congrats. Wow. Of all those players, who do I start? Oh, my bad. I'm scrolling back up. Okay. Diggs, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown. So you can only start 2 of them? I'd start Amon-Ra, AJ Brown. At the moment, that's who I would start. But do you not have another flex spot? You just have the one super flex spot? I'd said Diggs, I guess. He's been worrisome lately. So I guess I said Diggs. He's going to face the Cowboys. Eagles get the Seahawks. I'll take AJ Brown. Amon-Ra gets the Broncos. That could be a little tougher. Pat Surtain, but yeah, I'd probably just go Amon-Ra and AJ Brown. Throw the Browns in your lineup. I think Mark Andrews will come back this season, not this fantasy season. Isaiah Likely has been filling in nicely. This team's going to make the playoffs one way or another. The question is how high in the seeding. If they can get by with Isaiah Likely, they're going to let Mark Andrews rest as much as they can until the actual playoffs start. So, in terms of fantasy, I wouldn't bank on it, unfortunately. Who do I start? How do I start my receivers? Do I start all 3 instead of flexing Russell Wilson? Okay, my bad. No, in Superflex, I still go for the quarterback in the Superflex spot a majority of the time. So I would throw Russell Wilson in your Superflex. I would start AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's tough, but that would be my lineup. Start 3 or 4, ET and 18, Brees, most start. It's hard to do, man, but I think I had sit Devontae Chain. I mean, you could sit Brees Hall as well if you felt better about that, but I mean, A-Chain still found 12 points tonight. They're at home against the Jets. It's just our run defense has been bad this year. It comes down to Brees or A-Chain, whoever you like the least. But it's just tough because those are both guys that are just home run hitters, right? Start 3, Cook, Walker, Ridley, Higgins, Watson in standard. In standard formats, I'm always going to adhere to the running back position. So I'll go James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Watson if he plays. If Watson does not play, then you want to look at who gives you the best chance to score, right? Is it going to be Ridley? I don't feel great about my chances there. Is it going to be Higgins? He at least has a good matchup. Who do you think is going to score a touchdown between Ridley, Higgins, or Watson? If Watson starts, I'd probably go him. But yeah, I'd definitely go with the 2 running backs. 3 Saturday games this week. Yep. That time of year, right? Tucker Kraft or Otten? I go Tucker Kraft. Go Tucker Kraft. Did Otten do anything this past week? I can't keep up with Cade Otten. Man, I liked Cade Otten going into this season. He had 9.6. He had a touchdown. Okay. I just feel like Tucker Kraft is a nice streaming option, but I mean, it's a 50-50 shot between these 2 guys for sure. Victor down 5 points tonight, had 40% chance to get in, had Barkley and Sanders by putting on A-Chain in Miami's defense. I won, and first place team lost bye week thanks to me outscoring him by 2 points. Wow. Fantasy, I mean, I hate to admit it, but a big part of fantasy is luck. It just is. But congrats, man. Waiver wire quarterback, Stroud and Herbert probably out. Flacco, Mitch, and Easton stick. I go Flacco. Just go Flacco. Should I sit Diggs over Russ? Yes, I would. His usage has just been down. I take the quarterback in Superflex. Start 2. Bijan, Pollard, or Cook. I'll go Bijan and Cook, but I still think Pollard's fine. He could go Bijan, Pollard. Yeah, that one's close. You got to start Bijan right now, and Bijan plays the Panthers. Like, don't think twice about it. You have to start Bijan. Pollard and Cook in the same matchup. No, I'll go Pollard. I'll go Pollard. Pollard over Cook. Bijan, Pollard. Love, not great tonight. No. Tough week to be a Jordan Love owner, which I am in some leagues. How about Nico Collins? Have him on my bench? No. I wouldn't start. He might not even play. I mean, like, we don't know what's going on with the status, but no. Not in a super flex league. Just roll with your quarterbacks. I think the website is refreshed. Yeah, it was like freaking out on me, dude. I guess it was just updating from the games, right? Okay, I'm still in the same 3 league or 3 teams. So I don't know if it was even updating. Andrea, have a good night. All right, guys, we are a little bit over an hour here, so I'm glad some of you guys came through and got to say what's up and let me know how you guys ended up doing this season. But I am going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. But I'll be back Wednesday night. Hopefully. It's just so tough. I got to be honest with you guys. Like, spent quite some time Tuesday editing fantasy content. Then I do the same thing like all day Wednesday. And usually Wednesday, it's like I work during the day. And I usually take a break and like do stuff with my family and like get my daughter to bed. And then when she's to bed, I do more editing. So it's like, it's just hard, but I know it's playoff season. We only have like a month left of fantasy and there hasn't been as much content on the channel. So I do my best to stream far more actively these next couple of weeks, but it's just been tough this year. Like, and one thing I really realized for the few of you guys in here is like, I just can't do everything for the channel on my own. And Steven's computer broke. Then he had some complications with work, so he hasn't been able to be on the channel. Obviously, you guys haven't seen him. And so going into next year, I'll be making some drastic changes for the channel to ensure that you guys get as much content on this channel as you would any other fantasy channel is really my goal for the next year or two. So that will mean that I will be looking for people to join the Catch Fantasy Football, and I'll be looking for other people to come onto the channel and become content creators, or maybe current content creators join the channel, and that way you guys have more content coming out from the channel. And then my role will be primarily live streaming because that is what I have time to do. And also, it's like it's really tough for me if I've been editing, which first and foremost, I love editing for Fantasy Endgame. It's been an incredible opportunity, and just cannot overstate how grateful I am to be a part of the Fantasy Endgame team. But it is really taxing on you, like mentally and even to a degree physically, to edit as extensively as I do for them. And then as soon as I'm done with that, to sit down and edit fantasy football content for this channel. Like it just is. And like, it's just been tough. And I've kind of realized, that going into next season, I need to manage everything a little bit differently. And so, yeah, little snippet into some of the plans that I have for you guys and some insight on why the channel's kind of, I don't want to say fallen off, but realistically, the content production has definitely fallen off. But that's because I've been trying to do everything and I'm only one person, so it's tough, man. It really does. Zabby, 12-2, number one seed. Let's go. Let me know when you're jumping in. Playoffs weekly winners. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a live stream this week where we do that, man. David, love your lives, man. Helps a lot. Appreciate that, man. Love having you here. Thanks for the content and help throughout the season. Absolutely, broski. Mock draft season starts early. I cannot wait for mock draft season. I'll tell you that much. Need those kicker vids. I know. I miss the kicker videos. I know Steven does too. I'll mod your leagues for you, yeah. And that's another thing. Like, it's just been like, it's just hard, man. Like, I'm not trying to complain, but it's just like, if I've been editing fantasy football content for hours, and then like live streaming, and then like it's the end of the night, I'm like, I haven't looked at any of the catch leagues today, and it's like that's the last thing I want to do is look at more like pull up another app that has to do with fantasy football and stare at it. So like I have times throughout the week, like it's basically when I'm like exporting or uploading videos because that takes like 20-30 minutes, and there's I still have to make sure those things get exported or uploaded before I can say I'm done. So that's when I'm like, I literally have specific times where I sit through and go through all the leagues. But yeah, like I can't just stay peeled to each and every sleeper league, and like there's like 12 of them, So yeah, some co-mods probably wouldn't be a bad idea for sure. But yeah, I think next year is going to be a really exciting year for the channel, and I'm going to be doing some extensive interviewing, guest hiring, and just really trying to do whatever I can to make the catch, the best fantasy football. I mean, I'll be honest, the niche is so incredibly saturated. It's not overly saturated, but as each year goes on, is getting more and more saturated. And I don't know, there's a lot of great fantasy football channels out there, and I want to see every channel succeed because I know what goes into this, and it's really not easy. I know there's so many people passionate about fantasy football and content creation and both things combined. So, um, I want to see the community as a whole continue to grow and other channels succeed. But yeah, I want to do whatever I can to give you guys the best resources for your fantasy football leagues as possible. And what I realized this year is that I can't do that purely on my own. And I was doing that for like basically 2.5 years, and I was able to do it, but I just completely crashed this year after uh, getting hired by Fantasy Endgame, and just I had a lot going on in my personal life, and then like it's been a crazy year. Like, I can't even believe that we're going into the playoffs this year. Like every year has gone by really fast, but this year specifically really just feels like a giant blur for sure. So, anyways, catch is not going anywhere. We're gonna have a fantastic season next year, and at the end of the day, we still had a very good season this past year. And for me, the thing that I enjoy the most, at least currently, is live streaming. So, and live streaming doesn't obviously there's no editing or anything behind live streaming. So, but once again, I want to bring you guys a better live streaming product as well. In the mock draft off season helped us a lot for sure. For sure. We just got to go in on, mock draft season is my favorite time of year. Have a good night, J Dubs. Always appreciate you. All right, there's my long pep talk for you guys, and I'm going to sign off for the night. So, love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the catch fam. I will talk to you guys soon. Hit me up on Discord or Instagram if you guys need anything in the meantime. And hope you guys made the playoffs. Good luck to you, to those of you in the playoffs. If you guys did not make the playoffs, go win the toilet bowl, baby. So, with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, out here on the catch and